Why did Rhona Mitra leave the last ship, and how did Dr. Rachel Scott exit the TNT series? The Last Ship is adapted from the 1980s post-apocalyptic novel of the same name, with the show following the crew of the USS Nathan James returning home from maneuvers in the Arctic, only to learn the world has been torn apart by a virus. The ship's commander Chandler, Eric Dane, must work with his crew and Dr. Rachel Scott, Rhona Mitra, to find a cure for the virus. The Last Ship ran for 5 seasons and was produced by Michael Bay, but while there was plenty of action and explosives, the show featured some great characters too. The first couple of seasons of The Last Ship focused on the race for a cure, while later seasons explored how the world rebuilt itself in the aftermath. While some major characters survived the final season, it's doubtful the show will be revived, considering the Nathan James itself was sunk in the Last Ship finale. However, one character who sadly departed long before the Last Ship's final season was Rachel Scott herself. One of the most important characters on the show, and a fan favorite herself, when Dr. Scott died, it really shook things up in the series. But, why did Rhona Mitra leave the Last Ship, and was it on good terms or not? What happened to Rachel Scott? One of the immunes shot Rhona Mitra's character in the Last Ship? Dr. Scott working in her lab on the Last Ship. After a strong The Last Ship Season 1 finale, the finale of Season 2 saw the crew succeed in their efforts to find a cure. However, a group of zealots dubbed the Immunes, who are naturally resistant to the virus, believe they've been selected to survive. They try to undermine efforts to distribute it. In the final scenes, the crew is in a hotel to attend the inaugural ball for President Michener, Mark Moses. The team celebrates while Chandler and Scott share a possibly romantic moment before she walks back to her room. It is at this moment that an immune called Curtis shoots her. This was an incredibly shocking moment, because it was Scott who eventually managed to create the cure as well as the vaccine. The scene was filmed in such a way that kept Scott's fate ambiguous, but the premiere of The Last Ship Season 3 confirmed her death. In the months following her demise, Scott became a revered figure around the world, her picture put onto the new ration books to commemorate her actions in saving humanity. The showrunners said her death was meant to haunt Chandler and the crew in The Last Ship Season 3 and affect their thinking. Since she wasn't seen dying on screen and the character didn't get a funeral, fans still hoped Dr. Scott might have survived. However, she did die, and this made things tough when someone created an anti-cure in Season 3. What Rhona Mitra said about leaving The Last Ship. Mitra was clear that she wouldn't return to the show. While it was clear why Dr. Scott left the series, questions still remained over why actor Rhona Mitra left The Last Ship. Mitra, who was a main cast member since the first Last Ship episode, revealed her character's fate on Twitter in 2016. Not only that, but it sounds like Mitra didn't leave the show on good terms. From her statement, it sounds like it was either Mitra's idea to leave the show, or she refused to come back after Dr. Scott was shot.